Hi guys, this is Androidpipe.com and I'm here with a review of a cool game called Death Dome. It's available for free in the Play Store and it's very fun to play. This is the intro cutscene, and as usual you'll be fighting zombies in a post-apocalyptic world. So you'll face some huge monsters in abandoned warehouses, abandoned cities, and in a quarantine biofield. The theme of the game is that there's an M virus out there, so this is a subtle reference to the T virus, the one that's available in Resident Evil. And the game Death Dome that we have here is developed by Kryptonite Games. It takes up 458 megabytes of space. It was launched in October and happens in a post-apocalyptic world. You get unique enemies, boss battles that resemble God of War 3, and a lot of blood and glory resemblances and a bit of resemblances with Infinity Blade. So it's a static battle but with very nice combos. So we're waiting for it to load. It's actually taking a while to load since this phone is not exactly the highest end model. It's a Allview P4 Duo in case you're wondering. Still waiting for the initial load. And as you can see, you can also fight behemoths, not only zombies. What's cool is that the zombies, each of them are unique. Some of them are robotized, some of them are more flesh than mechanics. Obviously you can buy stuff using credits, and this is the main window of the character. We have a female character and we can upgrade her axe that you can see right here. We can switch to a pruner, honey hive, broiler, so she can usually rely on things like a sword or an axe or other weapons like that. You can also upgrade her armor with these options right here. So we have a bunch of options here that are pretty expensive if you ask me. It's pretty hard to get the cash in this game. You can also change your shield for something more powerful. These are the shield options. Anyway, let's get to the fight. You already saw the customization area and the inventory. This is where you buy stuff and this is where you have your resources. You got your money right here, glue credits and revives at the bottom. Let's press fight and let's choose our battles wisely. So we got Midtown with the boss we defeated and the airport with tougher battles. So let's pick one of the Midtown battles. Let's say this one. If you please excuse the lag, as I said, this is a dual core phone, but apparently it's not handling the game very well. Maybe your viewers will. The soundtrack is actually pretty cool. There is a bit of a Walking Dead feeling to the game, with that post-apocalyptic world, with zombies, but there's also a small Hellboy feeling to the game, with all the mechanized enemies and all that. And the cool thing is that before each battle you will be allowed to scavenge for stuff. So here goes the scavenging. You just tap on the screen on the question marks and hope to earn some cash or collect all sorts of loot. And the enemy is coming. So there is also the option to obtain a brutal finish by doing 3 blocks in this case. The enemies have vulnerabilities to thunder, fire and other stuff like that. And if you do manage to achieve 3 blocks, you'll be given some sort of fatality, like in Mortal Kombat. You'll see that later on. So I'm still wondering if these huge loading times are caused by the game or by the device I'm testing it on. So here we go. This is the fantastic graphics of the game. Each enemy has its own cutscene, both introducing the enemy and ending his life. So this one is a fatty, and let's fight him. You have 2 dodge buttons that I'm using right now. You also have a shield button that I'm using right now. And you swipe to hit the enemy. I just dodged the hit. As you can see, the graphics look fantastic. The background is even moving in some areas, clouds passing by. If I do one more dodge, I will achieve that brutality unlock. and when the enemy is too far you cannot actually reach him. This is one of the harder battles. You can see at the top that we have the character's life and the enemy's life in orange. You can also tap on that red area to discover a vulnerability of the enemy, and once you do a killer dodge you get to do the brutality move. So that was it. Pretty easy fight in the end. So it's just like Infinity Blade and Blood and Glory, you swipe to hit the enemy, you parry and you dodge. But they added a few combos as extra. If you dodge enough and use your shield enough, you load a special flux meter that will give you special attacks. And now here comes the next battle. The boss battles are fantastic in this game, they're my favorite part. You actually get to fight huge behemoths, just like the Titans in God of War 3. This one is one of the harder enemies. He can go invisible, but he's vulnerable to shock or lightning, and since I have an axe with lightning elementals, it will do him a lot of damage. Once again, big loading times, and here we go. Time to fight this robot that reminds me of the enemies in Hellboy. As you can see, this one can teleport and go invisible whenever he wants. So let's try a dodge and let's try to hit him first, but he dodged us. Let's try another dodge. So we did 2 successful dodges in a row. 3, 4, and now it's time to use the flux. This is the cool flux attack. It gives you an extra percentage of hits, with also a very special move at the end of the flux attack. And we already killed him, so it's time for a finishing move with lots of blood usually. So just like in Mortal Kombat, you have fatalities. This one is mechanized, so it didn't have any blood, but it was still a cool finishing move. We found some loot. You have skills, credits, and virus and charm to achieve, and let's continue. And now I may show you a boss battle. This is Grendel, one of the biggest bosses in the game. Boss fights are very hard to play and also very cool, so I must really show you this one. This will maybe convince you to download the game, especially since it's available for free. This is once again our character, and frankly the lag is becoming annoying in the menus, but I'm just going to show you the boss fight and that's it. So let's try to find the boss. Apparently you have to go to this area to find the boss. Let's see if we really found him. Grendel is the very first boss of the game, but things get harder after that. And apparently it's just a regular battle, not the boss fight. So the scavenge hunt goes on. And here's another enemy. Let's see if we can kill this one and then fight Grendel. Still waiting for it to load. This enemy is vulnerable to poison, but sadly when you have thunder elementals, I remember this one, it has a pretty hard to defeat feature because it has that cool shield. You can take advantage of the fact that he's attacking, and you can parry, and now we're doing a finishing move, and he's dead. If you think that these enemies are too easy to defeat, well, we're just back to square one. We're back to the initial missions of the game, just showing you the features that this title offers. So this is Grendel once again, and let's continue. The fights are very cool, very animated. Although you're standing in one spot, you can do some pretty interesting attacks. let's try to find that boss yet again, and if I cannot manage to find him, please excuse me. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap on the enemy, and let's see if we can meet Grendel, if you can finish this level. Apparently, in order to meet him, you must first complete the levels all over again, since otherwise you cannot trigger his appearance. Well, that's a pretty bit of a bummer, especially since you already killed him. But the good news is that this is the very first level, that's the easiest to defeat. It's an interesting mechanism, this puzzle with the scavenge. And this fight will be over in a minute, since this is one of the weaker enemies. Let's turn up the volume a bit. And here we go. This is a pretty muscular enemy. So let's wait for him to attack and then dodge. And he's done. It's all thanks to that hammer that we recently bought after gathering enough credits. And I guess that now Grendel should be activated. I really want to show you that boss battle, since it's very cool, has nice graphics. So here we go. Grendel should be available to fight, and here he is, marked with this yellow sign on the map. I am warning you that this is a very hard battle. I have to use 2 revives to survive it. Apparently it went into standby mode, so we also have a cutscene before Grendel appears, since he is quite a big fellow. That's an understatement. So as I said, once again, just like battling one of the bosses in God of War 3, very intense fight. Here he is. I just dodged a hit. And another one, and the idea is to wait till he hits his head. He hits his head on the building like this, and now you attack. And then he goes berserk and tries to hit you again. Not always you'll be able to dodge efficiently, but then you have the shield. He will also fire a rocket at you. That's very hard to parry. That really set him back. And now once again with the dodging. And time for the finishing moves. And here comes the brutal finish. Just like in God of War 3. Okay guys, this is it, a pretty lengthy review of a game called Death Dome that I really liked. It takes up 458 megabytes, it's available for free in the Google Play Store, and I highly recommend it to you because it's very fun to play. We give it a 9 out of 10 since it's a pretty hard game, especially as you progress, but it's very fun to play.